5K. She ran 2 miles on Monday and 1 1/6 mile on Tuesday. How much farther did she run on Monday than Tuesday? So first, we need to figure out what operation we're doing. How much farther means we do what? Subtract. And then because we have just a 2 right here and we have a fraction, we have to turn 2 into a fraction. So I will write 2 over, and then anytime I want to write something as a fraction, I put it over 1. So I would do 2 over 1 minus 1 1/6. Then we have to ask ourselves, okay, what is the least common denominator? Well, if I have a denominator of 1, I can get it to any number. So I can get it to the 6 that's right here. So my least common denominator would be 6. So when I would rewrite this, I would have 2 over 1 minus 1 1/6. I would multiply both of these right here by 6. So that would give me 12 over 6 minus 1 1/6. I'm going to turn this over here into a mixed number, or into an improper fraction. And I do that using the Texas method. So I go around the world and I land in Texas. So I start with 6 times 1. And 6 times 1 gives me 6. And then I add my 1 to the end, so plus 1. So I have 12 over 6 minus 6 plus 1, which gives me 7 over 6. And then I do 12 minus 7. 12 minus 7 gives me 5 over 6. Next question. So I have negative 10.5 plus 9 2/9. So the first thing I'm going to do is I'm going to say same signs or different signs. Well, this right here is positive. This one right here is positive or negative. This is negative. And then this over here is positive or negative. This is positive. So same signs or different signs. Different signs. Different signs, add or subtract. Different signs, subtract. So first thing I need to do is I need to find my least common denominator. Well, we have 2 and we have 9. I would list out 2 and 9's multiples. So I have 2, 4, 6, 8, 10, 12. And I'm actually going to go up here, 14, 16, 18, and 20. And for 9, I have 9, 18. So my least common denominator is 18. So this 2 right here, I'm going to multiply that by 9. And if I multiply 2 times 9, what else do I have to multiply times 9? This one that's right here. So I would rewrite that. I would keep my negative 10, and then I would have 1 times 9, which gives me 9, and then 2 times 9, which gives me 18. Plus, how do I get from 9 to 18? Times 2. So I would multiply 2 right here, and if I multiply 9 times 2, what else do I multiply times 2? The 2 that's up here. So I have plus 9, and then 2 times 2 is 4, and 9 times 2 is 18. Now remember, we said that we are subtracting. So even though there is a plus sign right here, we have different signs, so they have to subtract. So I'm going to do 10 minus 9 because we are subtracting, and 10 minus 9 gives me 1. Then I'm going to do 9 minus 4. 9 minus 4 gives me 5 over 18. And then we keep the sign of the bigger number. So which one's bigger, negative 10 or positive 9? Negative 10 has a bigger absolute value, so that's going to be our answer is negative 1 5/18. All right, next one. I have 3 3/4 plus negative 4/5. So same signs or different signs? This one's positive, this one's negative. These are different signs. Different signs, add or subtract. Different signs, subtract. So I will be subtracting these two numbers. First, I have to find the least common denominator. So I have 4 and I have 5. 4 times 1 is 4, times 2 is 8, times 3 is 12, times 4 is 16, times 5 is 20, then 24, 28. For 5, I have 5, 10, 15, 20, and I'm going to stop right there because I have 20 and 20. To get from 4 to 20, I multiply by 5. And to get from 5 to 20, I multiply by 4. So this 4 right here, what am I going to multiply by? 5. And if I multiply 4 times 5, what else do I multiply times 5? That 5 that's right there. Sorry, that 3 that's right there. So I'm going to keep my big 3, and then I'm going to do 3 times 5, which gives me 15, and then 4 times 5, which gives me 20. And then I'm just going to change this to minus because that's what we're doing. We're subtracting, and 4/5 is negative anyways. So I'm just going to get rid of that plus sign. What do I do to this 5 right here? What do I multiply by? I multiply it times the 4 because that's what we said we were going to do over here. If I multiply 5 times 4, what else do I have to do? Multiply this 4 times 4. So we have 4 times 4 gives me 16, and then 5 times 4 gives me 20. At this point, I am still subtracting. I can't do 15 minus 16, so I'm going to regroup. I'm going to show you the regrouping process over here. I have 3 and 15 over 20. This 3 is going to go down to a 2 because I'm going to borrow from it. Then I'm going to take my denominator and just add it to, sorry. Oh my God. Okay, then I'm going to take this 20 and I'm going to add it to my 15 at the top because that's what happens when you borrow. You can now add your denominator to your numerator. 15 plus 20 is going to give me 35 over 20. So this is now 2 and 35 over 20 minus 16 over 20. My big 2 is going to stay the same, and then I'm just going to do 35 minus 16. 35 minus 16. This 5 right here will turn into a 15. This 3 will turn into a 2. 15 minus 6 gives me 9, and then 2 minus 1 gives me 1. So that's going to be 19 over 20. We keep the sign of the bigger number. So which one is bigger, 3 and 15/20 or 16 over 20? 3 and 15/20 is bigger because this is literally less than 1 over here. So that's going to be positive. Okay. For this one, we have -7 and 1/6 minus -2/3. Now, when we have two negatives right next to each other, they will be turned into a positive. So I'm actually looking at -7 and 1/6 plus 2/3. My negatives went away right here. Okay, so that's a positive right there. So are these same signs or different signs? These are different signs because this right here is negative, but this right here is positive. And then different signs add or subtract. Different signs subtract. So I have, we first have to find the least common denominator. I have a denominator of 6 and I have a denominator of 3. So let's list it out. We're going to do 3 first. I'm going to do 3 times 1, which is 3, and 3 times 2, which is 6. I'm going to stop there because my least common denominator is 6. I don't have to do anything to this right here, so I'm just going to rewrite it. I have -7 and 1/6. And then over here, what do I multiply 3 by to get to 6? 2. So to my numerator, I would also multiply that by 2. So that would give me plus, because our two negatives become a positive, 2 times 2, which is 4, and then 3 times 2, which is 6. Remember, we are subtracting here. I don't know why I wrote them at different sizes. Hold on. Okay, there. No, that's still not right. Okay, that's much better. We're still subtracting here. And right now, I can't do 1 minus 4. So I have to rewrite this. I'm going to show you the borrowing process again. So this 7 right here is going to turn into a -6. And when that happens, I can now take my denominator and add it to my numerator. So I'm going to add 6 to the top up here, and that's going to be 7 over 6. So we have -6 and 7 over 6 plus 4/6. Now, remember, we are actually subtracting. So I'm going to take 7 minus 4. I'm going to rewrite my -6. 7 minus 4 gives me 3. And then my denominator stays 6. 3 and 6 are both divisible by the same thing. What are they both divisible by? 3. That's going to give me -6 and 1/2. All right. Next one, we are looking at -3 and 3/8 plus -1 and 2/3. Are these same signs or different signs? This is negative and this is negative, so they are the same signs. And same signs add or subtract. They add. So we're going to add these two together. We have to find the least common denominator. I have 8 and 3. What is my least common denominator between 8 and 3? It's going to be 24. And I'll list it out for you. We have 3, 6, 9, 12, 15, 18, 21, 24, 27, and 30. And then I have 8, 16, 24. So right here we have a common denominator of 24. How did I get 8 to 24? We multiply times 3. So to this 8 right here, I'm going to multiply that by 3. And if we multiply 8 by 3, what else do we multiply by 3? This 3 right here. So I will have negative 3. And then 3 times 3 gives me 9. And then 8 times 3 gives me 24. Minus, I'm just going to change it to a negative. How do we get from 3 to 24? We multiply by 1, 2, 3, 4, 5, 6, 7, 8 times 8 right here. So to this 3, I'm going to do times 8. And to my numerator, I will also do times 8. So we have negative 1. And then 2 times 8 gives me 16. And then 8 times 3 gives me 24. Remember, we are adding because they're the same signs. So I'm going to do 3 plus 1. And 3 plus 1 gives me 4. We keep the sign of the bigger number. The bigger number is the 3, so this is going to be negative. And then I have 9 plus 16, which is going to give me 25 over 24. We then have to regroup this. So not regroup. We have to turn that into a mixed number. So how do I turn this into a mixed number? We divide. We do 25 divided by 24. 24 goes into 25 one time. 1 times 24 is 24. Subtract, and that gives me 1. This right here is a whole number or a numerator. That is a whole number, which makes this right here the numerator. So I have negative 4. And then I also am pairing that with negative 1 and 1/24. So it's going to give me negative 5 and 1/24. Last question. Marissa had 1 5/8 bags of chips. Sydney had 2 1/4. We're actually going to skip this question because I just don't think it's necessary. Okay, that's it.